Use retention policies to manage collection and storage of your Intermapper server data. Intermapper stores collected data locally for use in charts and can also export to a database for long-term storage and reporting. In larger installations, you might even have multiple Intermapper servers exporting to one central database. Even a modest network monitoring 150 devices and with no charts or special probes can generate as much as 100 megabytes of data per day. Use retention policies to specify how long you want to retain data, both locally and in the database, and at what resolution. You may want to store certain data longer than other data. You can create retention policies that specify how long you want to retain data in each category. Original data is the entire set of raw data values collected by the Intermapper server. 5-minute samples are statistics computed over 5-minute sets of raw data. They include the minimum, maximum, mean, and standard deviation across all the values in each 5-minute period. These are computed as the data comes in so you can see up-to-date statistics at any time. Hourly and daily samples are the same statistics but computed over each hour and each day's worth of data for each data set. The categories I've just mentioned apply to data that's been exported to the database. Chart data is the local storage used to present Intermapper strip charts and as a staging area for the database. 6 retention policies are available by default. 3 of these are not editable. The 24-hour policy keeps local data forever on the server and raw data, 5-minute, hourly, and daily samples for 1 day in the database. The forever policy keeps all data forever, both locally and in the database. When you choose the None policy, no data is collected, stored locally, or exported to the database. The 24-hour policy is selected by default. 3 additional editable retention policies are available. The auto-record policy is automatically assigned to certain important data sets. By default, it acts exactly like the 24-hour policy, but can be edited to keep data for longer periods. The chart-only policy stores data locally only and does not export to the database. Edit the IM46 charts policy to specify retention for charts created in versions prior to 5.0. By default, this earlier data is saved forever, so until you edit the policy, that data is retained. You probably want to create at least one retention policy that retains data for longer than 24 hours. You create and edit retention policies from the Server Settings Window's Retention Policies pane, found in the Server Configuration section. Start by creating a retention policy you want to apply to all maps by default. If you have certain devices or maps for which you want to retain more or less data, create additional policies. I'm going to create 3 policies. By default, I want original data retained for 24 hours, 5-minute data for 2 weeks, hourly data for 6 months, and daily data for 5 years. This allows me to create relatively detailed reports for up to 6 months and reports with daily information for up to 5 years. Remember, daily samples for a dataset take only 365 records per year. I'll also create a policy for use with my map of critical servers. I'll make this one retain more data for a shorter period. Original data for 24 hours, 5-minute data for 2 months, hourly data for 1 year, and daily data forever. This allows me to create detailed weekly reports going back 2 months and to be able to see general trends at any point in the past. And finally, I'll create a policy to use with the SLA probe on my main Cisco switch to monitor ping and packet loss. Original data for 24 hours, 5-minute data for 2 months, hourly data for 6 months, and daily data for 1 year. This allows me to review detailed spikes in ping or packet loss over a 2-month period and to spot monthly trends. You can set a default retention policy at the server level, and you can override this policy at the map, device, and interface level, and even assign policies to individual datasets. This is described in Part 2 of this video.